I'll start with this little story of what we assume philosophers are. So this is a story of an artist, a scientist, and a philosopher who go to a restaurant and order something. Each one has their own choice. So they're asked why they order that particular dish before they start eating. And the artist, of course, is in ecstasy, describes how beautiful the dish is, what the colors are, and what the textures are, and the experience of it. And then he eats. And then the scientist, of course, also talks about, what makes the substance so good, how it's so good for your health, and so on. And he also eats his food. And when it comes to the philosopher, the story goes that I'm sure you can guess it, right? Starts thinking about it and walks away without eating. But this is exactly what the idea that we'd like to challenge today.
How we relate to philosophy today or a philosopher, it's somewhere you can say it's not the most respectful thing in a way. Why am I saying that? Is philosopher today we think about somebody as a deep thinker, not mainly as a doer. And if we look at portraits of all the great philosophers, they're all sitting in a very deep thinking position. We look at people here. So these are not the modern ideals that people want to follow in a way. These are not our heroes of today's world. Today's world, the heroes are entrepreneurs running big unicorn startups. They are celebrities, sports stars. Yet, philosophy is so relevant even today.
Two reasons why philosophy is relevant, a personal reason and a social reason. The personal reason is what I'll call the anesthesia of habit. Take some routine activity you do, like driving from home to your office. And you're familiar with the route, you're an experienced driver. You learn to do it on autopilot. So you can leave home, arrive safely at office, and all the while you're thinking of something else. And when you reach office, you have no memory of the journey. Now, perhaps you took this journey on a Monday morning, and over the weekend, there was a tree on the journey, and all the flowers on the tree bloomed, and it was a spectacular sight. But you didn't see it because you were lost in habit. So habit is an anesthetic, and philosophy is a way of keeping an alertness so you don't get anesthetized by habit. Now, the social reason is that if you want to form a healthy society that is not racked by division, where we're not fighting with each other about what our definitions of reality is, we need to philosophize.
The essence of philosophy is truth. What is truth? The present is the truth. What we are all sitting here, we are discussing. But this we say peripheral truth. We are all in the peripheral truth. If I go deep inside, it's all made of atomic stuff. Inside atomic stuff, there is a quantum field. And that quantum field, today quantum physics clearly says the whole nature is a ooze of the quantum field. In our traditional ancient spiritual teaching, this we call it as Tattvamasi. Now, peripheral truth, whatever we are seeing, if we go deep inside, it's all made of a single essence, which we call it as centered truth.
I think we are finding ourselves as a civilization, as humanity in a very special moment of the history. Everybody is aware that something is happening in the world, but we don't know exactly how this is going to end and where is it going, where the world is going. So first of all, I think that since the world is facing a crisis, I think as a practical philosopher and as a teacher, of almost 25 years that a response, a healthy response of a practical philosopher is to understand that a crisis is the biggest opportunity. You know, it's not just the COVID. The crisis is a climate crisis, there is energy crisis, and that is probably going to take a long time till the solution will come. But for us as philosophers from different fields of life, from science, from aesthetics, from architecture, from business, we feel that our role as practical philosophers is to bring solution. Maybe our solution is not going to, our solution is not going to be in the level of finance or solving the energy crisis or anything as such. But our solution is, as philosophers, is going to come in, the way I see it, is in a place which is going to help us to reconnect, to regenerate, to revive, to bring back the sense of meaning, the sense of direction, the sense of confidence, of coexistence.
Stoics talk about that we do not control the life around us, we do not control the circumstances, but what we control is how we react to these circumstances. So what is in my hand is my reaction, but the circumstance necessarily is not something that I have control over. And this realization for them is the key to happiness. Many times in our life, we always base things on when this will happen, I will do that. The simple example is we create a box of happiness, and we lock it. And when my partner will gift me flowers, I will open this box of happiness. When my boss will give me appraisal, I will open this box of happiness. And the key to that box is not in my hand. It's in my partner's hand, it's in my boss' hand. So we are basing our happiness on things that we do not control.
With the help of philosophy, one learns how to, I would say, get closer to what is real and try to maybe learn from the errors and like Bhanu was talking about also and the others, is how to avoid, how to not repeat the same mistakes of that we've been doing, and that is the process to go out of the cave. And then comes the second part, which is the leadership that I'm talking about, or we can say the ethical leadership. The one that goes out was able to liberate himself, at least partially. We're not talking about yet full liberation, from a sense of compassion, from a natural need to help others with the little bit that I've learned.
True philosophy is an energetic, rigorous, confrontational, joyful, and continuous conversation between walking the talk and talking the walk.
Is there a place for humor in philosophy?
I'd like to cite an essay by the Italian writer Italo Calvino. And his essays on the theme of, it's a collection of essays in a collection called 6 Memos for the Next Millennium. And the first essay is on the theme of lightness. And what he says is if we just look at the world very directly and rationally, we get weighed down by information till we are totally bound by heaviness. And the way to tackle with it is to look at the world indirectly. And one of the ways he says is what the poet uses is to use metaphor. But another way is to use humor. And through that, you're actually able to see the world with much greater clarity, because the weight of information otherwise pins you down so that you can't even move, you can't even see.
I'm of the belief, and I believe a lot of people here share that we need more exposure and learning in philosophy, like we do with science, in schools as well as with adults. And with science, fortunately, there are lots of compulsory education in school. We have lots of wonderful science communicators like Carl Sagan. But if you were to do something like that with philosophy, what would you say, my question is specifically to Ren, what would you say are the most important branches of philosophy to focus on? Or what are the most important skills that people should have, you think? Like if you had limited time and resources, where would you focus all of that on?
I think that our ability to understand what is consciousness, which is one of the pillars of philosophy. Another one is aesthetics, which is also very important. Another one is metaphysics. But I think the best metaphysics maybe can come later, but to study and to practice how our consciousness works. How can I basically elevate my consciousness? How can I know at every given moment where my consciousness is? But step by step. First of all, I would definitely introduce the know thyself and the sciences of epistemology and learning about the human consciousness.
Free will, so on a scale of maybe fatalism to compatibilism, where all of you guys lie on the free will illusion debate?
You are within a world, you're immersed in a world that pre-exists you, and that immersion comes by the very fact of your birth. And perhaps the goal of your philosophy is not to step away from the world and understand it, but immerse yourself in it and find harmony with it.
Thank you all of you for really your time here, and I'd really like to thank all of you for braving the weather and the rains to be here and enjoy this evening with us. Thank you very much.